Well, Big on home soil looked almost unbeatable. Vega Squadron could not hang with them on Dust 2, but to train, we will move. Vega Squadron's pick, and the mission fairly straightforward: win or get knocked out.
So would you like to know how they're going to play train?
Yes.
Want to ask me? Go ahead.
Go on. How they play train?
No clue, mate.
Brilliant.
Absolutely no idea. I mean, that's the thing. Like, as a color commentator analyst, I try my best, you know, do my research and watch stuff. There's nothing to watch in these teams on train, to be quite fair. Obviously, Big just came together. Vega Squadron doesn't really play train that much compared to the other maps, particularly offline. I haven't seen them play it at all, basically. So don't really know what to expect in this game, which makes it kind of fun because we get to learn about these two new teams and we get to see if Big can actually get the job done on train. Have they deepened their map pool enough in the short time they've been together to handle a situation like this and get the 2-0 and move on without having to worry about a third map coming into play and get to the semis? But yeah, I don't know. And then for Vega, this is their pick, so hopefully they've worked on something.
You would think so, at least, to allow it to go through to this stage. You think both teams would have a general idea, a rough consensus as to how to properly play train and where their strengths may lie. You can see again the huddle coming in for Vega, a much needed one after that fairly lackluster performance on Dust 2. Although I don't want to take anything away from Big. Often you'll say, like, a team really underperformed. The fact is that Big, their star players hit their stride.
Yeah.
Nex was wrecking, Tabson was wrecking, Keeve was stepping up with the AWP. Legia and God B put in a shift as well with 4Ks and 3Ks amongst the two of them. It's hard to really say that was all Vega's fault. But train is a whole different ballgame. They have got to step up here. If Chopper goes absent, if Mir goes absent, this could be a very quick 2-0.
And the problem was they were absent on Dust 2, right? You didn't really see, I mean, Mir was the guy that everyone really looked to after that E-League qualifier and were really impressed by him as being like a young player coming from the CIR region to keep an eye on, perhaps kind of like a guy like Electronic on flip side who's done kind of something similar. But on that Dust 2 game, he wasn't really there. And neither was really anyone else that you normally would see perform well, to be honest. So they're going to have to step up their game, especially if Nex keeps playing like he's been playing, Tabson has been keeping it up. Like, they've been consistently putting up really good individual efforts throughout this tournament. So definitely going to take a little bit of something extra here out of Vega Squadron to keep this one going. We need like a wink counter on Keeve for this event, because I feel like he's dished out at least triple digits.
Take a shot for every time he winks, be hammered within
Just
like 3
get absolutely
seconds.
wrecked.
He does have such a likable face,
down a beer every time he winks, so that wall can increase that we saw being built. I wonder what the status of that is. Maybe we can get the camera on there a little bit later, as there was certainly many of glass bottles lining it up there.
But I was going to ask you predictions on this map, but you've already, you know, gone over it. It's hard to say. There's an unknown quantity to both of these teams.
What does the crowd think? Do you think this is going to be a 2-0? Is this going to be a 2-0 crowd? What do you think?
I think they're quietly confident. But also quietly, actually. You can hear some cheers now. Obviously wanting Big to go ahead and just rinse through Vega Squadron. I think Vega, I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to show up on this map. I hope they do from a neutral's perspective. Mirage would be the third map, and I think that would actually be pretty awesome to watch between these two teams. It could potentially, if there are a lack of strats, which I'm sure there won't be, but let's play devil's advocate and say that there are. This could make for a very explosive map of Counter-Strike, at least with Train. I mean, on the T side, you can push through main, you can push through Pop Dog. There's so many rush spots on both maps.
Right.
This could actually be really fun to watch.
I mean, we know that Vega likes to be pretty assertive, pretty aggressive, and so those outer executes can certainly come into play, especially if you can keep the CT economy unlimited, so they can't like incendiary or smoke T connector. That allows you a little bit more free reign to actually spill out and trade to the outer bound site. But this is also a map where the ops can have a huge impact, and so obviously Keeve's going to be a guy to keep an eye on, see if he can kind of keep up his form. He certainly looked pretty good in what we've seen thus far. And then it's also, can JR recover? Like, is he going to be able to get his op brandished and be able to see if he can't start putting some numbers on the board? Because obviously he did struggle quite a bit over onto Dust 2, as all the players seem to be in their seats. So we should be getting started soon, as the question needs to be answered. Is Big moving on to the semis here now, or is the third map going to be needed?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, Dust, but if Big did win this map, they're facing Heroic, right, in the semi-finals?
That's correct.
That has the makings of a pretty sick matchup, if that were the case. Of course, let's not count Vega out just yet. They are starting on the T side with the hometown heroes of Big, of course, on the CT. Legia with the defuse kit and 2 flashes. Tabson going up, and again, I can't emphasize enough how good this guy is with pistols. When he played for Penta, he was an absolute animal. Keeve going to try and do what he can on Ivy, the flashbang, totally wrecking a couple of players, but unable to actually land a great deal of damage down there. JR's going to go on to next. Here comes Keeve, goes back in for seconds, and Hutchie is standing tall for his team. 2-on-2 as Mia takes down Tabson on main.
Actually getting a little bit close now. It started off in a big way for Big, but now we see Vega playing back into the round just a bit. course, Mir has now fallen, so now it's all up to G here as he's working in. He's getting pinched from two directions. Both players, though, low on HP. He does find Legia, so now it's the 1v1 against Gabi. Gabi with the arm and the USP, hiding it out. The bomb's down. He has to be able to get to that bomb. I believe it's inside ladder room, so he has to make some distance, but he'll just find the headshot instead. So there you have it. Vega gonna make it 1-0.
Well played, Hutchie. Staying alive. I like the peek, actually, down onto the player that was trying to scurry back to CT. He saw his opportunity and struck fast and with precision. That's the kill I was talking about. And then finishing it off onto E-Box on God B. So well played. Vega Squadron with an interesting buy up here. 2 AKs and a scout. You don't often see a scout in the first round. You'd expect to see more SMGs than anything else. Interested to see if that actually pays off for them. Chopper and Mir are going to do all the damage themselves. The MAC-10 comes in alongside yet another UMP frag. So that scout not really useful in this round, but maybe through into the next one when there's no armors on Big.
Yeah, so the 2-0 start here for Vega Squadron seems to be just around the bend, as we do have that head armor CZ trying to be saved by Gabi. Maybe look for an exit, try to grab a gun, but it's definitely going to be going to Vega Squadron, just, you know, wrecking that outside bomb site.
Gotta be just hoping for an exit frag, really. If he can keep the CZs, the HE, and the Kevlar alive, then all the better for it. Vega going to be chasing him down. Kishanda's in hot pursuit with the MAC-10. If he just checks his right side, the trajectory of that grenade actually gave Godby's position away. But I'm sure Kishanda would have tracked his right hand side anyway. So no saves today. There will be an eco on the horizon for Big.
Yeah, you would expect Vega to be able to go ahead and push this to a 3-0 start after winning that pistol round, as it is just USPs for Big. They do have 3 nades, so maybe some type of nade stack on T-connector is going to be coming up. See if they can't catch them trying to rush outer and get some free damage in, as we do see tabseN unleash the nades here on the T-con. Not really going to find its mark, though, as Chopper comes out with the Yump, having no trouble clearing things out with Mir, as they are going to be able to get the 2-for-1 trade. Mir continuing to deliver now. G will chime in also, and so this round is pretty much done with, but of course this was always going to be expected to go to Vega.
Oh, Legia,
Okay.
hello. Doing quite a bit of damage on his way out, it would seem. He doesn't have a gun still at his disposal. One of those kills was on a very weakened opponent, but still, 2 kills USP, not bad. It's a little bit more in terms of grenades usage in the next round. But as expected, the 3-0 in play. Not a bad effort at all.
Certainly not, but now we're going to see the guns in the hands of Big. Gabi will have the mag, so I know he likes to use that inside ladder room and up close on T-connector. I used to even see them do that in the past, so seems like he is going to be going to that. Keeve will, of course, have the op in play. Gabi will actually take it over towards inner halls, in fact, this time around. So you'll see him use a smoke and HE grenade, maybe try to play up close in the brown halls, put that mag 7 to good use. And there you do see it, just playing in the edge of this smoke. He may be challenged soon. You do see several players gathered up here in the inner halls. Only one player really not around. That's going to be Chopper, and Keeve will take him down with the AWP. So a quick 5-on-4 here for Big, as the remaining forces of Vega are looking to try to see if they can't take him to the center bomb site. Gabi using fire to hold them off. Legia beginning to rotate. Even Keeve has made his presence over here inside the inner side.
So many grenades at Vega Squadron's disposal. It looks like they're going to raw peak, and that will be into Keeve's favor. No, flashes are going to be protruding first. Keeve's still in a position to strike with one more frag. They're not going to be getting anything else from this round. Mir, Hutchie, and JR all chiming in with kills, and it's many seconds. tabseN and Legia make that just tabseN with a tall order ahead. He played like a god on Dust 2. Does he have that in his locker again? There's the first one. It wasn't clean, though. Losing 81 health. Now he misses out on the second frag. The other issue is he doesn't have a kit, and that time is starting to tick down. The spray nearly on point. Hutchie does get found out, but I don't think tabseN's interested. And honestly, you could get carried away in that kind of a scenario and think that you are unstoppable. I likely had the presence of mind. He had the clarity of mind to say, okay, I've done my part. I'm just backing away. I want to keep this M4 alive.
Yeah, there's really no hope for him to actually get in there, travel that distance, especially with no kit. So he'll hold on to the armor and AK and a little bit of utility. That's a 4th round on the board for Vega Squadron. It's a good inter-execute. Keeve was putting up a good fight there in the beginning, but once they cleared him out, it was a just pretty clean cut from that point forward there from Vega Squadron. So far, so good for this team here in map number 2. Again, if you're just joining us, map 1 did go to Big. in a pretty big fashion, to be quite honest. That's a pretty one-sided game on Dust 2.
Yeah, 16-7 in the end. One-sided, surely. A fair word to use. Mia, in the meanwhile, is going to get the opening pick onto Tabson. And for as well as Big started Dust 2, which was an 8-0 lead, almost the absolute opposite is the case here. And on the CT side, so of course, Vega Squadron's best side you would assume is coming up. Keith, though, with a fadeaway headshot on Tamia. Keeping the terrorists honest, and that scout shot did connect from Leggy. He's going to go back in again. He whips up the USP, he probably will get the frag. Somehow Chopper manages to dodge the bullets and stay alive. JR has been found out and taken down from next. 3-on-2.
There's a lot of damage being dealt here from Big, and there's still that outside chance that they actually convert this, as Chopper is quite low, and that CZ can certainly be a nuisance to deal with here, as Gabi is going to go undetected. He steps out from ladder, he takes down Hut G, and so now it's a 2 versus 2. And my goodness, Vega, are they really going to let this one slip through? Oh, Next doing some real crazy damage right now. This is coming down to the wire. It's not looking good.
Both the health is so low here, Dust. They got 35 seconds. They've got to try and scamper away out of the site. Godby already preemptively spraying down. He thinks the player's to his right, but actually Kashanda's still camped out just behind the train. One stray bullet and he's dead. Godby's up on the train. He is going to get found out and put down. But this is where the P250 of Next could be all that the CTs need, and Next is going to connect the shot in one of the worst buys that Big have had.
And a round comes a little bit early there for Big, as they only had some upgraded pistols to work with, but Key starts it all with the 1D get Ivy, and then it just goes from there. This was the big one, though. Gabi going undetected inside ladder room, takes out the unsuspecting G, and he's able to get an AK in his hands and deliver even more damage here onto Chopper. And so Big, they steal one away, and that could be the start of the comeback from Big. That's a pretty huge round to win, preventing the lead from extending. So you are seeing Keith put that op on the T connector, see if he can't pick up on someone.
Mia just biding his time in the Ivy. Hutchie's already taking quite a lot of damage. Chopper's been found from Keith. Another good start by Big. Can they continue it going forward? Mia hasn't moved a muscle. He's been behind that box for quite some time now.
And now you're seeing a little bit of a double up here on Ivy between Gabi and Leggy. Thanks to that pick that Kiev got, it's given the luxury of being a little bit more flexible in their rotates. And Gabi, you can see, takes out Kashander. And so now it's going to be on Mir and company to see if they can't still find something in this round. They're down 2 men. Mir hoping to catch the back of Kiev, perhaps. He does spot the back of his neck, but it's not going to matter much. But he does clear out Tabson.
Yeah, it's hard to see how he gets anything else done here, though, because he was so heavily tanked up in the way. Kiev with a second. Hutchie, all that remains. It's important as well for Big not to concede too many more casualties from this round. Even if they win it, they need to win it clean. And 2 kills isn't too bad. They can replenish those weapons. They're back on track to have a decent CT side. Godby's trying to rally the crowd. He's loving it.
It's been a while since he's played on home soil, of course. He's been playing in America for quite some time with NRG, so getting back home, I'm sure, feels like a great homecoming for this entire lineup, you'd imagine. And so Big are looking to close the distance here. Only a couple of rounds away from tying this thing up already here in the first half. And it's kind of like on Dust 2. We saw Vega Squadron have a tough time because they weren't on the same page. They didn't seem really coordinated. It seemed like they were disjointed. You saw individual efforts not going their way. And it's like that again. I mean, they had that one big inter-execute that worked out, but since then, they've been kind of losing some of these individual battles. So I hope to see them have maybe some more coordinated attacks once they get guns back in their hands. Otherwise, Big can just kind of keep the good times rolling, so to speak.
Opening pick, though, is going to throw a spanner in the works for Big. Kiev does come back, and once again, his AWP, with the surgical precision, moving over from Dust 2 to Train. Godby is going to be in the thick of it in a few moments' time. Going to see a waterfall of terrorists as they thunder down onto the B site. Chopper will fall on the approach. The bomb planted, that's pretty much the mission that Vega set for themselves, and in that sense, they have accomplished it. It's unlikely that they're going to get anything else out of this. Kashanda could find a kill with the Glock. Not going to happen. Godby puts him out of his misery, and Big will secure a third.
Indeed, they will, but we will see a full bot coming out from Vega Squadron once more. And I mean, so far, they've done, you know, okay on their T-side train. It's still very early on in the half to really see where this is headed. We are going to see Big talking it out here just a little bit. Keeve, of course, we're going to have the op. He's been doing great. 8 frags on the round. Gabi also doing his job in the inner bomb side. He's been playing really smart, not overcommitting to fights, staying alive, buying time for rotates, finding frags when he needs to. Obviously, he was key in stealing that round away from Vega a few rounds ago with the CZ, so he's definitely been on point. And we are, in fact, going to see Vega gather up in the inner hall, so they definitely want to do some type of execute together. Counter nades here, though, from Big, holding it off for now, and tabseN's moving up in the ladder room to be a quick flank.
tabseN could be the linchpin of this round. They know that the terrorists are clumped up at some point on the map. It could very well be main, actually, considering there's no one from the CTs around that vicinity. It stands to reason that Vega will likely be up here around bathrooms, as most terrorist teams will do this.
The thing is, Gabi's starting to run out of utility to hold this position, and his rotate's actually pretty far away, except for a potential flank through T-connector or ladder room. So if he overstays his welcome, he can absolutely get overwhelmed. This inner bomb site's wide open. Unless he just lands some sick frags, they could certainly line up and he could just deliver.
As soon as he sees a pixel, he's holding down left click till the gun starts clicking itself. You better believe he is going to be on the spray. He's not going to get anything. A lot of information has been gathered. And this is where he'd like to see tabseN coming up the Pop Dog ladder, but no flank is on the cards. It's actually going to be a much slower progression. Legia gets flashed, but I think Chopper did too. Legia looking for a second one. Both Kashana and Hutchie are low, and they're going to be burning to a crisp. Hutchie actually dies on the site before being able to get that plant off. The bomb is still out in the middle of the site. 20 seconds left, 2 on 3. And JR is going to go for that full plant now. He's going to be aggressed on from his right-hand side. He's going to have to live a little while longer before Nex puts down his teammate, taps him from behind. But JR will pick up a bomb plant and a 3K. So close, but Vega Squadron just about get by.
Yeah, it seems like maybe Gabi hung around a little bit too long there in Brown Halls. He didn't have any support. He didn't have, a flank coming ladder, or someone else that entered to throw a flash for him, or to try to set up some type of trade. It was really just all going to be up to him lining up a bunch of 6 shots with the AK and making some type of highlight reel moment that was ever going to work out, and it didn't. So hopefully we'll see him think things through a little bit better in the future if Big is going to be able to continue finding rounds on the CT side. But now Keeve wants to see if he can't do something aggressive, just playing the edge of the smoke with an op. This is just so brave, and it does not pay off.
Sometimes bravery is not enough, Dust. On that occasion, it actually cost Keeve his life, and could very well cost Big in a round. Mia decides to switch out for the assault rifle. He is going to die. He was already low, so probably felt compelled to play aggressively. Legia switches to a grenade. Fortunately for him, though, Big Boy Nex steps up and just wrecks 2 players in front of him. And a third as well. Nex isn't done just yet. JR, who's been consistently Vega Squadron's best player today, has too many angles to cover with the AWP. And it looked terrible when Keith died right off the bat, but hey, Big brought it back with a vengeance.
Yeah, I mean, it is Nex. We've been talking about, had some excellent CT slides throughout this tournament, and he certainly delivered on that round. Keep your eye on this M4, bailing out Legia, who is about to get pushed, and he's able to just kind of keep directing his aim all across the outer site for the hat trick. And so now Vega Squadron, they're back onto just upgraded pistols, so Big are looking to tie this thing up soon, and Keeve, he's going to find JR right away in the T-connector. Inner halls is being pushed out by a couple of players, but Gabi is ready and waiting. Meanwhile, Mir does actually break through Ivy. He finds 2 kills, in fact, and Hutchie finds Gabi. Oh no, this is starting to spot out of control for Big.
Oh, Nex, unfortunately, couldn't transition the spray across. These kind of situations, though, are potentially tailor-made for Keeve. 3 players left, 2 of which were low. Mir's low now, as Hutchie has been taken down already by the hands of Keeve. He has the AWP, but he's got some utility to play with. Bomb going to get planted in the next few moments. And Keeve is going to try and take his AWP to that long-range confrontation from the CT side.
Yeah, Vegas plays smart. He shouldn't have too many chances to even take a crack at this. This will likely just turn into him saving the AWP at Ivy. So you can see that Vega gave him no chances to creep into this one.
Yeah, just trying to scurry away with the kit if he can. I think that peek up from CT side is about to get aggressed on here. Has he overstayed his welcome? Definitely seems the case. Nice no-scope. Looking for a second one. Gets on to Kashanda. He's not going to get the clutch, but One hell of a stylish way to save the AWP. A 4K in the end. I think when he came up from CT and he peered across to the site, if he landed a frag there to a one-on-one, he goes for the defuse. But as soon as there's nothing forthcoming, nah, he just wants to save it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, he does so in style, but this was the two big kills here. I mean, Mir just coming in, 2 Tech 9 frags on the leg and taps in. That just can't happen. I mean, those are the rounds you're supposed to be putting away if you're big. If you really want to make sure you end this in 2, you had the slow start, you start recovering, but letting a round like that go, that's certainly painful. So can Vega Squadron find their footing again is going to be the question now. It's still on a relatively low buy, even after the victory, and Kiev still has that op in play, and he takes down Chopper. Now the rest of the players looking to rush in, or can Gabi hold his ground?
I want to see if he can just stay alive long enough for the rest of his team to get here. That could be enough, or taking down a player with him. And it's still a solid endeavor, especially considering he had the weakest weapon on the team. Mir somehow escapes with 4 health. It looked like he was guaranteed to be dead as a hail of gunfire came through the smoke. Kiev has gone down, and with him, a big chance from Big. Nex and Thompson, the 2 top fraggers from the previous map. This is going to be a huge clutch if they could take it down. Nex is going to be going in first for his team. Lands the headshot onto Kashanda, but once again, the issue remains no utility. There's a Molotov landing on the site. They don't have a kit. They don't have time to wait for. And even though Mir is incredibly low, 4 health is enough to stave off this defuse. Vega Squadron will have the round.
I mean, one smoke grenade could have actually absolutely changed how the rest of that round played out. If you can smoke that molly, get on the defuse with such low HP on those players, Big maybe comes away with that, but unfortunately they didn't have the money to spare for that. And so Vega Squadron will hold them off, and so that means they're going to go up 7-4. So they're certainly getting the job done thus far on their map pick of Train. If we do need a third map, it would be Mirage. Just as a reminder, but of course we're still quite far from determining that. Still very early on in this map. And Kiev will again had that op, and so far he has been on point with it.
Like with UMP alongside Nex, they get themselves 2 kills. Kiev very nearly lands a shot onto Chopper. I think he actually did tag him, but partially through the train. And will be charged down as a result from JR. JR joined by Chopper. Chopper peering through, unbeknownst to him, was actually looking right at Godby's head. And the UMP is enough to contend with him. All on JR, 1 on 3. He knows where at least one of these players are. That's going to be Godby and Pop Dog. Holding the left-hand side from JR's perspective. There's the first one. 2 more to go. He still knows Godby is very likely on Pop Dog's side. It's all about where is Nex. That's the big question mark for JR, and he's going to try and find out that information. Now he has it. As things have got a little bit more interesting, he knows where both the players are. He has a flashbang, which he is going to throw into Pop Dog, and now going to try and use that to scalp away onto Nex. Lands the shot. The smoke is going to allow him to actually pick up this bomb, and he starts to move away from it. Godby's using that smoke himself for some brief sanctuary to try and stop this plant from becoming a reality. JR going to go for that full plant. And Godby coming around from the side. It could all come down to timing now. JR has crafted himself a chance, but Godby will get the drop on him. And that's got to hurt if you're JR. You feel like you've done enough to clutch the round. Godby just UMPs you in the side of the head.
He played that masterfully. I mean, to be honest, it should never even have gotten that close. I mean, it really should have been Big stamping it out, but JR definitely had some good efforts there. He gave himself a chance, but in the end, just not quite enough, but can't really blame him for it. He certainly made a great effort out of this. But the round, no less, is going to go to Big. It's now 7-5. Economy in disarray for both teams, to be honest. Like, this is real crazy right now. I mean, this round could even be kind of like one of those 2-for-1 type deals where you get this round and you get the next one because your opponent's economy is just completely out of it. As we are going to see Mir catching Tabson's aggression here at Ivy. What can Kiev do with the Otto? Can he even up the score? No, he can't. He misses the shot and has to just kind of withdraw. And so that means that Vega are going to maintain an early 5-on-4 advantage. Again, Gabi's been playing really aggressive Brown Halls this entire game with mixed results. See what happens this time with the M4.
Well, that should be his call to just get the hell out of there as soon as he misses that opening couple of shots. Next, once again, delivering with an M4 kill on the A side of the map. Legia with the UMP. This isn't the greatest range for this SMG. He will go down. Chopper's low. The push is going to be diverted over onto the B side as they realize that both players were last seen on A. But in fairness to Big, they've called this. And so Vega Squadron, they decided, nope, we're going to go back to the A site again, get completely wrecked. Even though Nexus picked up a kill, the bomb will be getting planted, and this is where things are going to get that much more difficult for Big. They're going to be trying to push a player through connector, one from the CT side. Well, that probably is all she wrote for this round now that Nexus on his own. Nice shot onto JR, and a second one to Kishanda. Have I spoke too soon? Not only is this 1v3 clutch on the cards, but Nexus on for the ace. Chopper's got 15 health left. The downside for Nexus, he's got no utility to play with and no idea where Chopper currently is. So this is a roll of the dice at best. He's just going to be holding on to the site. Does Chopper even peek? Yes, he does. And lands the 1D. You feel bad for Nex there. What an attempt that was, but still the round goes the way of Vega.
And just missing a key piece, which was a kit. Like, without that, it makes it very difficult to do any type of fake diffuses to draw a player out or even have time to stick it. It just, you know, it was really stacked against them. Some nice shots, though, of course, but there's always going to be almost impossible without having the proper utility, as you noted, to give that a real effort. And so Vega Squadron now going to be up 8-5, and Big having to basically save for last at this point. A couple of upgraded pistols, sure, but the main focus is to try to give them some type of buy in this next round to keep the score as close as possible.
Next with the Julies, huh?
2 guns are better than 1.
Apparently double the fun. All stacking on the A side. Setting up to put all the rest of their funds into the final round of the half. Vega going to get some scouting done by Kishanda, who is pretty much single-handedly pushed through on the B side. They know this is now clear. The bomb plant is going to come in. And Big have no reason to save on God be a Tamsin, so expect to see some shenanigans from those two guys. They may think about saving the lights of the Deagle and the CZ, or looking for exit frags. But this round is all but lost.
I mean, I guess it's worth having some upgraded pistols going into the next round, so just trying to see if you can't get exits or hold on to these. But Kishander, so far not allowing that to pass. He's already found a few frags here. Chopper now also coming in, so looks like nothing will be retained for Big going into the final round of the half, as Vega will be up 9-5. So thus far on their map pick, they've taken care of business. We were kind of talking about how some of their players were a little bit quiet on Dust 2, but on this map, that's not been the case. Mir surely delivering right now. He's up to 16 kills on the half. We also have guys like Kishander and Chopper doing a bit better this time around. So it's good to see some of Vega Squadron's key players, you know, starting to get in the groove of things again. You know, really start to kind of play at the level that we expect from them.
And the crazy thing is that even though Nexus team are 9-5 behind on CT side, which is typically really brutal, he's on 21 frags. He's top fragging either side. He is playing like an absolute boss. Here comes God B though. Close range of the Max 7. You almost feel like something could very well kick off. 1-for-1 trade. It stopped the initial charge, but now that Mia has found Legia, and it opens up the map, and the CTs now very thinly spread out, trying to cover multiple angles each.
Yeah, I think this is just another case of God B getting way too aggressive at Brown Halls by himself, and he's been punished a couple of times for that. This round is going to be no exception to that rule, and I think that's really helped Vega win a few rounds, so that's something that, you know, maybe he might regret going forward, but we'll have to just see if they can still find a way to win here. But they're running out of options as the numbers dwindle. It's only Nex left now in a 1v4, and this is asking a bit much of him. Yes, he's had a great tournament, but can't really expect too much from him in a situation like this one. And yeah, that's going to be at 10-5 for Vega Squadron. So showing up in a good way on their map pick.
10 rounds on T side is a fantastic half. So it's hard to see how Big can bounce back from this, but we've already seen today some great comebacks. LDLC from a 12-3 deficit on Cobblestone. I'm not going to put it past Big. But Train T sides, again, we don't really know what to expect from them. We don't know if maybe their T side is amazing, maybe their CT side is the dead weight. Only time will tell, but they definitely need this pistol, that is for damn sure.
Yeah, I mean, you see in that half, Vega just off to a great start. They get a 4-0 lead thanks to winning the pistol round. And then they were excellent on gun rounds. Again, I think they did a good job of punishing God B's aggression in the inner. and being able to get some good inner hits off of the back of that and really holding off retakes quite effectively. I think you saw them obviously have like a really big force buy win when Mir had those Tech 9 kills on Ivy, and you had Big kind of let around slip through their fingers they probably shouldn't have. So those were kind of some of the mistakes that Big made that allowed this to happen. So I think Vega just kind of took advantage of some things that Big were trying to do that just weren't really panning out. And so they have a pretty stable lead going into the second half. But again, as you noted, if Big can get pistoled, they're right back into this game. The inverse, though, is Vega perhaps having too overwhelming of a lead for Big to be able to handle. And that third map becomes a much more probable outcome.
I mean, there's so many hurdles that Big have to navigate over cleanly. The first is pistol, and the second is that first rifle round that Vega Squadron would have. If they can break the economy, maybe they can get themselves back into this one. The pistol started very well indeed with Hutchie down low and JR dead and buried. Kashanda is going to go down. Here comes Keeve and got beat. When it rains, it pours in terms of frags and Chopper, and a 1-on-5, not going to happen. Tamsin picked up the USP, rams it down the CT's throat. They pick up the second pistol, and without losing a single player.
The crowd finally able to come out of their slumber. There's finally been a big round coming out of Big, and so that's step one to get back into this game. Making sure you secure the pistol. You don't allow the lead of Vega to build up too much. And again, for all we know, Big may have some cool stuff prepared on this map. That certainly was a pretty nice little execute for a pistol round. Good smoke, good pop flash through to allow them to swarm in on the bomb train. You are going to see not too much of a buy here from Vega. I mean, you have a P250 and a 5.7, but no armor bot, like not crazy spending on unupgraded pistols. So this is a pretty conservative approach here from Vega Squadron in the second round. So perhaps really making sure that their first gun round is packed full of utility, maybe even double op, you know, things like that might be considerations here.
They all invested in a HE. They went for like a carpet bombing onto the main, but no one was home for the terrorists. There was no frags to be found. And as you say, I mean, when you've got this kind of a lead, you're not in any great deal of rush to go into any kind of buys. This will bolster their first buy a little bit more. Of course, assuming they don't really buy too much in the next one. Kashanda has landed a headshot onto God B, but the rest of this round is definitely going the way of the Germans. Chopper's 5-7, all that stands between Big and a 7th round, but not for too much longer.
Yeah, Big looking to take their 7th round, and again, kind of curious to see what Vega's looking to do. I mean, I assume they're just going to take another full save next round. Again, I think they're just making sure they have like everything that they could want in the opening gun round. Just being really conservative about things. No problem with that. And so Big will be happy, though, to secure a couple of free rounds on the way to that outcome.
I'm curious to see what Vega are going to have in their first rifle round, actually. So they've invested not a great deal. I mean, 3 players still with USP. Fair enough. Mia has a nade. So you'd assume there's going to be at least one up in the first rifle round.
Surely.
As of JR's, he's pretty much picked up nothing.
It also makes it more difficult for Big to do like heavy out executes whenever you have those incendiaries and smokes to put down on T-Con and ladder room, as well as holding off inner rushes as well, being able to have counter nades on the ramp and such. So this is definitely a map where you want to have a lot of utility on the CT side.
Big laid in wait. Maybe assuming that with a lack of buy, could see some kind of a rush come into play. Instead, it is going to be a B stack with Kashanda in Pop Dog with his CZ, as you can see now. Keeve's going to be going in first with his Mac 10 alongside God B, I assume. Looking for any CTs that are lurking in the shadows of the B site. Legia spots himself ahead. They may assume now that the floodgates are open to just push right onto the site with, and it will indeed be the Mac 10 ripping through faces. JR's the first to fall. Mia, the next bomb will be planted. Nothing really to write home about is round 18. Pretty much as expected. Kashanda does have an AK with Kevlar.
Not bad. Certainly could help things along in the next round. It'll save a little bit of extra cash having an AK rather than having to purchase an M4. But Legia will see if perhaps he can't stop that save from happening, as he will challenge Kashander. Kashander not allowing him to do so. And no one else is really even close enough to pose a threat to Kashander. So this AK will definitely be rolling over for Vega Squadron. But the score will be 10-8. And so Big, this next gun round is going to be huge. That's going to show whether or not Big's actually really going to make the full comeback, or if Vega's going to be able to hold them off. And I thought he was safe, but now we see Keeve running in here, but it will be stopped.
feel like the AK in the CT's hands-on train is just so powerful as well. I mean, there's a lot of positions where you have maybe a second to just tap off 1 or 2 bullets. With the M4, it's not going to instantly kill someone. With the AK, it could. And plus, places like Pop Dog, where Kashanda does typically play, the AK can be an absolute menace. So definitely watch out for that. It's a nice little bonus that Vega Squadron get out of an otherwise dead round. Kashanda's playing more passive for the time being. Now going to start to move into Pop Dog.
Yeah, we see Kiev looking to see if he can catch something over the top of the smoke with the op. As we can see that Big are keeping it pretty default. You know, just keeping one passive at Ivy. It's going to be Tapson. They have a couple players towards inner halls and ladder room, but they're really seeing if Kiev can't find an opening with AWP. Gabi, though, going to drop in, and Kashander, very blind, is back exposed to Gabi, and he's going to get taken down by the ump.
Mia tries to salvage something out of this Pop Dog play. He very well may be in the thick of the action. Legia strafes by, lands the headshot. What an opening play this is from Big, and we talked about how important the first rifle round would be. So far, so good.
Oh,
Pudgy,
no.
That's a nice little pick, and he could very well get a second when he gets tagged down to just 7 health. But Leggy's been picked off as well. Here comes next once again with 3 kills at the death of the round, and he continues to be the boss of Train.
Okay, next, we see you over there. That was very rapid 3 frags, and because that round was really uncertain there for a moment. Like, yeah, sure, you had Gabi and Legia working out a ladder to get down Mir and create some openings, but when Key's hop goes down, you start to get a bit concerned, but then next just absolutely tears Vega Squadron apart there. Those were 3 very crucial kills, and so now Big are just a round away from tying it up, and with Vega with only pistols to spare, it certainly looks promising for Big to go ahead and tie this thing up at 10-all. As once again, they will just kind of hold back, anticipating aggression from Vega, which is certainly the case. You can see them getting very forward here on T-Connector.
And this is what we were talking about before, about how important it is from the T's perspective to just keep the CT's economy in a very low, dark, dreary place. Now, Vega have nothing to build off. Very little in terms of money. Got Nex on 26 frags. Just chugging along at a crazy fast rate.
That's insane he has that many kills and we have so many rounds left to play. Like, he could really be looking to have a monstrous game. As Kashander's trying to see if he can't still help Vega along. Can they steal around the way from Big? So far, so good. We have a couple of kills coming in for Kashander and JR. Next, though, starting to come alive with the AK. He's going to start trying to hold this off. The bomb is planted. It's now a 4-on-3. There is an AK in the hands of Kashander, but Nex just continues to deliver. What is going on, Nex? He is just on fire right now, looking for more. There it is, neck 4, looking for the ace. Not gonna happen, but he's still building up a massive frag count and basically securing the round for his team at this point.
Kashander's gonna go down next. And Nex gets the assist. What a beast, he just dropped to 30, I think.
Yeah, he is in fact at 30 kills, and we at least have 6 more rounds left to play. Unreal performance from him. And it's been happening all tournament long. Again, good to see this from him since he has been inactive for so long. Short of standing in for eSports a couple of times online, hasn't been playing offline since ESL 1 Cologne, the last major, way back in July of last year. So, as quite some time ago. It looks like he hasn't missed a beat, to be honest. He's looked sharp here. And he saved the day because that round was starting to get a little bit dicey for Big. You really started to see that one start to look a bit dangerous, but he's able to pull through.
As was the round before that too, when Nex came out with 3 kills on the top of the train.
Absolutely.
Next to main. So from 10-5 to 10-10, Vega Squadron so far, 0 rounds on their CT side. Big keeping them at arm's reach. Big's economy booming. Vega Squadron. Very deep defense on B, actually. You've got Hutchie, who's on the CT stairs.
Yeah, the big focus is on ladder room right now. They have 2 players playing inside ladder. Ivy's also very passive right now. He's playing towards CT stairs. So this is giving Big so much room. The only thing they don't really have is going to be ladder room because the defense is so focused there. But getting out Ivy and T-Connector is going to be pretty easy. They're going to go for a triple Ivy setup, something that you do see some teams do. It can be very hard to deal with, but Hutchie trying to cut him off in the back call. So far, not letting the mark, but at least he's getting the information to allow some rotations to start setting in, perhaps. And he's going to find the frag as well.
Yeah, kill on top of that, and a lot of damage to Tapson. Not a bad effort at all. 25 seconds left. JR now can turn his attention towards the CT side of Ivy. Kashander was stuck on the stairs for a couple of seconds there. How does Legia drop down and get the kill from under Mia's nose? There's going to be a couple of harsh words exchanged between the two. 12 seconds left. Tabson catches the kneecaps of Mia as he hops across. Godby's going to go for the plant. Pretty much has to stick this at this stage. He hears the footsteps coming up at him. With one player low, it's doable. Jumps round the corner. Maybe a desperation play, not too sure about that, but it's going to cost him his life. And, well, there we go. Vega, welcome to the scoreboard on CT side.
Yeah, I also don't know if that smoke quite did what he wanted it to do. I think he was anticipating it would bounce a little bit better so he could kind of block the guy pushing him lane and allow him to kind of focus on someone by E-box or the middle train. But instead, it went a little bit deep, and so he still had multiple angles to worry about. Also, a good incendiary came in there to force him out of position. So Vega will, in fact, push this to 11-10. That double ladder setup really actually paid off quite well. That was like really the other angle of attack Big were looking to get to try to open up more areas of attack onto the outer bomb site, and they couldn't grab it. So everything got focused up in those back halls, and Hutchie did a good job of limiting their abilities to move forward. And so it is 11-10. Still able to buy is Big, however. Keeve is going to have the op in play as well. And he's certainly been brilliant with it lately. And Godby getting taken down at ladder this time around very quickly by Kashander. Tabson trying to look and see if he can't make a play at Ivy. He does get past that smoke.
Does get the freebie onto Hutchie. 22 health left. He's about to get peeped by JR. Can he go for the double? Yes, he can. It's the headshot. Okay, Tabson.
And that makes up for Godby going down a ladder room. Now you've taken the odds in your favor. So you saw the CTs trying to make a play at Ivy. It's to no avail. So great work from Tabson. Good pop flash from Legia. Allows him to come down the ladder room. Gets both those kills. That's about the best you can ask for from Legia. And so now this round is way in favor of Big.
All up to you, Chopper. Not for too much longer. Tabson with another one. Tabson with 3, Legia with 2. Great plays, great entry frags, really. That was just the masterclass in entry fragging.
Yeah, you got to think Tabson's the key factor in this round. These 2 kills is what gave Big a chance. Without those, it's pretty much done deal. And then this is nuts. I mean, it's funny he gets the kill on the player who's not blind first, and then the blind player, the guy who wasn't really a threat, he kind of saves him for last. That was like really good target selection from Legia to turn that into a really key fight in his own right on top of Tabson's. And now it's tied up, and look at Vega.
Full eco. USPs, nothing else. Big, this is your chance now. Legia, with those entries alongside Tabson, has got Vega on very shaky legs, but they have to go for the KO punch now. Plant down, Vega with a full USP retake. I don't think I've ever seen this be successful before.
No, man. Tabson watching Hall for this flank, and little by little, Vega are falling. And of course, again, what was there to be expected here? Just USPs from Vega, so nothing to be too shocked about. But Big will take a lead. I think it may be the first they've had this game, if I'm not mistaken.
Vega started with a 4-0.
Yeah, so this is Big's first lead.
Yep. Since the 4-0. So finishing strong are Big. Vega Squadron struggling, but as a result of that eco, of course, they are going to have a solid buy coming at us now. Actually, I say that, but I totally forgot that they reset their own loss bonus. So
I want you to send them some nudes. I don't think you want them, mate. I don't think you do.
Wait, what?
That guy was holding up his sign. He wanted you to send some nudes.
No one wants to see that, mate. Trust me. Legia's going to go in with 2 frags anyway. Mira and Chopper both fall down. And Hutchie with his deagle is going to at least pick up an AK. So that's 2 in total that they now possess.
Yeah, Kashander and Hutchie, maybe they can put these AKs to use. This is another round they didn't really have too much invest into it, right? They did the full USP save. This round, some upgraded pistol, sure, but still really waiting on the next round to see if they can't get things going again. So these 2 AKs being saved would be certainly massive. What? Hello? Kashander just waiting around the post, catches Keeve completely off guard. And he's doing a heck of a lot of damage here. This is actually getting a little bit interesting. They might even go for it now. They weren't before, but now it's an option.
Yeah, Godby's got this on lock. I can't see how Hutchie gets this clutch from this point. Time is too scarce, no kits. And the timeout is going to be called by Vega Squadron as Big take a 2-round lead. They will have a buy this time. for guaranteed certainty. And this timeout, they're going to have to try and figure out what they're going to be putting forward against Big.
Yeah, again, I mean, I think that you've just seen some individual plays coming out from Big in a lot of these rounds. Like Tabson has the big individual play at Ivy. Legia had the big one inside ladder room. You've seen Key's op do its job. I think that Vega Squadron have done well to like get aggressive in T-Con and ladder and make it difficult on Big. Don't get me wrong, but it just seems like you're seeing, I mean, Nex has just gone off, man. Like he's had some big plays. That triple kill come out of T-Connector to win one of the first gun rounds that Big got was just massive. So again, it's been real big individual plays. And so if you're Vega and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, we're losing rounds because one guy is literally just getting 3 kills on us every single round. You know, how do you even account for that? Like, it's just one of those things where they're just not fragging very well in this second half. I don't know what adjustments you really can make at this point.
Keith, are you trying to seduce me? Because it's working, mate. Look at him. It's like he's looking into your soul.
I hope that one day I can find a man to look at me the way that
the way Keith
looks at you.
camera.
Yeah, there you go. Relationship goals.
Free Phantom Lord. Jesus.
I think so. I like the Salt Boys, Tom. That's very fitting for you. With your salt emotes.
Bruh.
You can subscribe for those over at twitch.tv/Metis. There you go. There you go. You can also watch him play bass. Can see, can really see the fingering abilities of Metis.
Wow.
On the bass strings, of course.
So yeah, speaking of, I honestly don't know how to transition from this. I'm just gonna say Vega have a tactical pause.
There you go.
Brilliant.
Well done.
As smooth
the
as you could
graphic
hope for.
does it for you. We can segue nicely now.
Smooth.
As again, it's hard for me to really know what adjustments Vega can actually make here because again, I feel like we've just seen a lot of big individual plays coming out of Big all across the map, to be fair. So accounting for that, I mean, maybe you can think about trying to do some type of like aggressive play in inner halls, or maybe you think about trying to do some type of Ivy push, maybe try to disrupt the rhythm that Big has, or maybe you just try to figure out ways to set up JR's op. Maybe you find some good flashes or something to try to allow him to get some peaks and try to see if he can't find some early battles in his favor. And look at this though, Kiev is just rushing out here. Boom, JR already down. You gotta love having an opper like that at your disposal who's willing to just have that mentality of go for it.
How's that tactical pause looking for you right now, Vega? Call it, come back in. All right, boys. Okay, our opper's dead. Brilliant. 6 start.
It's not really the situation you want to be in, that's for sure. Really puts the extra pressure on when you're already down a man so early, and you need this map. You've lost the first one in a big, big way, and this is for tournament survival right now. There is no safety net. You need this if you want to have a shot at the playoffs. Of course, the hometown crowd's hoping for that not to happen. They hope that Big keeps this up, I'm sure.
They'll be facing up against Heroic tomorrow, the winner of this game, which is increasingly looking likely that it will be the Germans of Big. 53 seconds left. Allotted to the T side here to aggress. Just 2 incendiaries and 2 flashes for Vega to play with. 2-2 stack. Kishanda's out on an island all by himself. I mean, he's ultimately watching both main and Pop Dog by himself. So that's why he's playing such a passive angle behind E-Box. He has no help whatsoever from Hutchie. Hutchie is purely focused on Ivy.
This double intercept, though, is going to work out pretty well. I mean, Mir may go unchecked here, and he could really be the one to disrupt everything for Big.
Thing is, though, the bomb is nowhere near B. This is all a ruse. This is all a bait. 11 seconds, though. So Big, they're cutting their time short, but they're just about going to get there and get the bomb planted. Hutchie now, the back of the Ivy, is waiting for the cavalry to arrive, and Chopper and Mir through on Pop Dog. He's going to get 1, but Kiev will take him down. Started things off, and he's picked up 3 so far in this round. Got B close range, takes Chopper, and eviscerates him. Hutchie in a 1-on-3. And he is only going to have a harder time from this point out. He's been spotted and knocked down to 17. 1 kill goes his way, but Big have got another one. Off the back of a pause, it's 14-11.
I mean, you've got to be impressed by the reaction and firing speed of Kiev's op. It's definitely lightning fast. I've seen so many moments where his op is just so quick. I mean, just a small sliver is all he needs to put you down. I mean, that jiggle peek that guy was doing over at ladder, you think surely, I mean, that's That's just ridiculous. Just being able to catch someone doing that, it's going to be so hard to do at times, but he makes it look easy. Definitely been fairly accurate with things, and now it's around where Big looking for map point. Vega with not much to work with, but Chopper does find the first blow with that pistol. Kashander following it up. Is Big really going to let this one slide? They don't want to do it. They want to get to map point here. Now, can they recover?
Kashander spotted 2 bobbing heads just below him and did dink Tabson. He's down to 6. Keeve could very well be the man that Big desperately required to clutch them out of this situation. He's already got 1, 3 more to find. Right behind him, Hutchie goes down next. And he could be aggressed on. Oh, the headshot to JR! Chopper versus Keeve. What was looking like it could be slipping away from Big, and Chopper could be peeking. Keeve gets a clutch, and Big now have 4 match points.
What more could you ask of this man? He's just absolutely shredding the opposition that is Vega Squadron. That was absolutely ridiculous. It looked for a moment there that this round was going to be stolen. It was going to be hijacked from Big, but look at Keeve work. He spots that shadow. That was key. He knew that that guy was there, able to pre-peek with the P250. Then he knows he has time to pull the op back out. What is this? You can't be serious. You cannot do this, Keeve, please. Keeve, please don't do this. Not like this, man.
He just tagged JR through
I know he did. That would have been ridiculous. Like, oh, well, just got some lightning fast. Op kills. Oh, just crazy clutch. Now I'm just going to get a wall bang through like 3 different walls.
Definitely legit, though.
What is going on?
Pretty
Will this
sick
be
stuff.
it? That's the question. Is Big about to move on to the semifinals to play against Heroic tomorrow?
They have 4 rounds to do just that. 4 excruciating, grueling rounds for Vega Squadron to save. Overtime. Best case scenario, after they had a 10-5 lead going through onto their CT side, they've picked up 1 round, ladies and gents, on their CT side so far.
It's definitely been a rough ride for Vega Squadron on this CT side. Again, just big individual efforts from Big. How do you account for that? I don't know, but someone from Vega needs to step up if they want to survive. Mir looking to try to test the waters here at Inter. He's going to get aggressive. He does get the bomb. That's Legia out of the equation. Gob B going to be able to push in, grab the bomb back at the very least, but he's not going to be able to get the actual trade. And in fact, the bomb is still tucked in the brown halls here. We might see some more aggression, but Mir will get caught. Tapson spotted by Chopper, and so now Big's still a man down. They're also running out of time. This could be Vega at least pushing this 1 more round, but let's see. What does Big have left in store?
Looks like the bomb could be getting planted, but Vega aren't going to care too much about that. In fact, no, it won't. It's been dropped out in a horrible place. Next, I mean, what were his options there? Either go for the full plant and get killed through the smoke, or try and push and get killed. There's really no other chance for him. That's 1 of 4 Vega Squadron have taken down for themselves.
Yeah, and just, you know, good initial integration there from Mir to get the opening pick. Chopper also able to silence Tabson over at Ivy. So now they're limiting some of the playmaking that Big was doing in that round particularly. They also got Keeve down pretty early, who's been an absolute nuisance for them with that AWP. But Big, of course, still full buy. Keeve not messing around. He's coming out aggressive here with that op on top of the T-Con train. Just looking for his chance to strike. It'll be Nex who delivers the blow first, though.
You can clearly see that Keeve is on some serious adrenaline right now, but that could very well start to get himself picked off. JR is no scrub when it comes to AWPing, and he will punish you if given an opportunity. Hutchie now with the spray through the flash, panic fire, but does connect onto the head of Tabson. Like you at least make amends and bring it back to a 2-on-3.
Yeah, this is now hard to play from if you're Big. They do have a little bit of utility, and they have a good bit of time left, but their normal playmakers aren't around right now. Now it has to be the duo of Legia and Gob B, and JR has already dealt 1 frag against them. Now all on Legia to 1v3. Sure, he has the time, but he doesn't have the options, and JR will put him to rest. And so we are at least going 1 more round. And money is actually pretty low here on the T side, if we're honest. And they only have a 2-round loss bonus coming in, so you almost have to give the 14 to Vega in a way and kind of play for the 16-14 win.
Looks like we may be heading the distance on train. They could still sneak this out from underneath Vega Squadron, but all signs point to this going to the 30th round. Gob B, the only player with Kevlar. 2 smokes. One of which has just been thrown out onto the site. It could be more of a fake than anything else, because as we can see, the bulk of the aggression is going to be coming through main. This is where the pistols could become a bit of a sketchy situation for the CTs, but Hutchie's M4 is going to do the talking for him. Kashanda is going to take the AK and use it against Legia's team. Tapson, the meanwhile, comes through with a frag, but there comes Hutchie with 2 more. A 4K. But now is the final test, potentially. Big are going to have more weapons. They're going to have more nades as a result of that bomb plan.
Yep, and they're going to take a timeout here as well, which is good. I mean, this is the round to try to stop this from going to overtime. Definitely want to have the extra time to really think things through. They certainly are going to have the economy to do whatever they want. That bomb plant helped things along. They didn't buy too much in that round, so they should really have plenty of money to work out whatever it is they feel is their best option. Again, because a lot of their rounds have come off of people on the perimeter of the map making big plays like Tabson, like Keith with the op and T-Con and such, I don't know if they have any like set execute they really want to go to, if they want to see if they can't just let Key's op go free and see if he can't find another big pick. You know, do you want to let Tabson try to be a playmaker at Ivy? Is that something you're looking to do? Or do you want to try to get on the same page and just like roll like a really big inter-execute or something like that, right? Because if you can catch Mir being aggressive in Brown Halls again and actually trade that outright, I mean, inter can be a very difficult thing to deal with when it comes to retaking, especially if you have the proper utility left over as a terrorist. So Gabi will certainly have a lot of things to think about here, as he certainly wants to lead his team to a 2-0, have the easier route to the semifinals rather than having to deal with the third map.
One of the worrying signs for Big, if they do go into overtime, is that Nex, who started so powerfully, he was on 30 for 10 at one stage, is now 33 for 18. He's slowed down considerably. Keev has stepped up, Nex has slowed down. If they go into overtime, you're expecting a lot for Europa. As good as Keev has shown he is on train, and indeed Dust too, you're expecting a lot for him to solo carry. Next, this could be a bit of an issue. This could be a bit of an Achilles heel.
And let's talk about Vega for a second here. They've done well to get back into this one. Let's think about this for a moment. They've been getting it handed to them lately. I mean, in the first 11 rounds of this half, they lost 10 of them. Now they've been able to put together 3 rounds in a row. Like, even though they let their lead from the first half really slip, at least now they're giving themselves a chance to come back into this. I mean, it all comes down to this round. Sure, you know, you still have an overtime to worry about even if you do get this one, but at least you give yourself a chance. And we have been able to see guys like Cassandra, Hutchie, Mir, they've certainly begun to deliver. And even JR, who was having a bit of a tough time on some different situations, is starting to kind of get his act together a bit. His numbers have been improving in this. So they certainly seem to be, you know, staying competitive, which was the big question mark, right? Was E-League a one-hit wonder type scenario against NIP? So for this tournament, they've proved that they actually have good enough players to be challengers, and so they're going to make it hard on Big, you'd imagine. But here we go, Keev with the op. He is looking for the pick here from T-Connector, but so far some good counter nades have really pushed him off.
And you better believe all those counter nades are for him. That's a lot of utility that's been expended just to stop his early peaks. But it has stopped his early peaks, so he is going to have to relocate and try and get a frag elsewhere. So that is a solid call by Vega Squadron. Sure, it hurts to put all that money down onto Team Main when there's so much time still remaining, but at least Keev is going to get an opening pick or two.
Yeah, and we are going to see Big actually begin to gather up here inside the inner halls. They do have the bomb on the back of Nex, who's still playing towards T-Con with Keev. But you can see the other 3 players are really trying to make sure they can get control of Brown Halls, clear out ladder room, leave their options open. You see some window being broken, so we could still see some type of smoke execute here on the outer bomb site, but Inner's also still an option. Really not quite sure just yet where Big wants to go, but God B now has control of ladder. Is he looking to take a duel, or is he looking to throw some nades?
He's lucky no one was in pop, because he just wrecked himself with that flash. Fully blinded himself.
Ooh, here
He's
comes
about
the
to
push.
get aggressed on from Kishanda. The panic fires down, but good guy Legia, the bodyguard of God B, stands there, absorbs the punishment, and dishes it out in equal measure. Hutchie, there's so much falls on him. 2 frags. That could be enough maybe for the CTs, as Chopper's now going to come in with one of his own. Mir from the side takes down 2 kills, but Hutchie deserves a lot of the plaudits to taking us into overtime. Those 2 kills were so important. 15 apiece though, Dust. They did it. 4 rounds in a row were required. They picked up all 4.
Yeah, it certainly got scary when Legia comes down ladder and bails got B out, but as you noted, Hutchie able to stop them from being able to really get into the outer bomb site from ladder, and also a big flank came in there in the end as well to go ahead and stamp it off. So yeah, look at Hutchie here defending that T-connector push very well. And like we said, that ladder flank that came in at the end was what sealed it. And so overtime is going to occur. I think this is our first overtime of the tournament. I know what we haven't done
casted at least. I'm not sure about the other games. I don't think they've had overtime.
I don't think so. So if I'm correct, I'm sure it's MR3 10K. So first to 19 is what we're looking for here. 18-18 split leads to a second overtime.
19, the magic number that both teams will be looking towards. And the momentum, I think it's safe to say, in the hands of Vega Squadron after those last 4 rounds. Keeve is now going to be pushing aggressively out. Pop Dog gets 1 kill, but Mia with 3. This time around is going to be playing close to E-Box. Godby managed to snake his way through the smoke. But he's Billy No Mates. No one else in this team is alive and standing. There's the 1 kill. And that's it. Vega Squadron take the lead again.
And a rule correction, it is actually 16K start money, MR3. Which I kind of like that because I like the logic that I've heard a lot of people argue where, you know, it's been even throughout this game to get here, so let's let them throw everything they got. Let them have full gun rounds all the way through. Let's see some more gun-on-gun battles throughout of it. Some people say they want to see economy a part of overtime. I can understand it to a degree too. But I think it makes it more exciting to see like more and more gun rounds in a situation like this where it's been an even bout. As the ladder room pressure has been getting crushed lately by Vega Squadron. You think Big needs to start looking at other options. It feels like ever since Keeve hasn't been able to find openings with the op and Taz hasn't been able to make plays at Ivy, Big doesn't seem to have any answers anymore.
Exactly, and that alludes to what I was talking about before with Next slowing down. If they counter Keeve, where are the kills going to come from? Where are the opening picks coming from? He, for 3 or 4 rounds, was single-handedly getting 1 or 2 kills from Team A, and Vega Squadron adapted. And now the well of frags is drying up. They're trying Molotov out of position as Hutchie in the smoke. Halo gunfire just to his right-hand side, courtesy of Thompson. Not left on the time, and they haven't really got any ground so far, the terrorists. And adding to that JR's pushed up aggressively with the open box walls once again. It's a lot of information in the hands of Vega, and JR will take down Legia. They're going to line up for God B, and he knocks them out.
Wow, so all that ground that was gained by Vega has now been all but erased, as Big now had the man advantage, but Chopper, he's going to start putting the crosshair down on the ladder room, and he's taken the bomb down, and he's gained the man advantage for his team, and time is running low, and now numbers are also out of it. It is 17-15 here for Vega Squadron, and again, we talked about it from both sides in the regulation. Like, how does Vega Squadron adjust the success that Big has when it's based on big individual plays? Now, the flip side of that is, now that Big aren't getting individual plays anymore, what can they go to get rounds? Because we haven't seen them have any, like, really nifty executes that have netted them anything. We haven't really seen, you know, an incredible deep playbook. Again, we didn't know how deep their map pool was, considering they're kind of a new lineup. And you're starting to maybe see some of the constraints that they have. But look at this. Keeve is not messing around, but he misses his shot, a rare miss, but he recovers. That's Hutchie down. Can they follow that up with something more?
JR, meanwhile, is just going to have to tuck his tail between his legs and scamper out of there. And Molly does buy him up some valuable time. He also has some help just below him, which is going to be Mir. But Keeve deciding, okay, screw this. I'm just going to go hyper-aggressive. He gets the kill, and look how aggressive he's pushing with the ult, man. This is just raw confidence. He is oozing confidence at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, again, God B, when he was on energy, he relied on his opera a lot. Like, he really tried to make Peter the focus of their T side, really rely on him. And he's doing the same thing with Keeve. And Keeve has, you know, delivered well. He's going to get the leg there of Chopper. He'll finish off with the Tech 90, spots one in heaven. Is he going to be able to get this frag as well? Yes, Keeve just doing it all right now. A big solo effort from him. So now all of a sudden the individual plays are coming back into effect for Big. It's just Mir and JR left. Last round, they'll obviously go for it. Do they even have a chance at this?
There's a chance, but it's certainly not a big one. Here comes the pop flash.
See what you did there.
Actually, not even intentional, but I'll take it. I'll take the bad pun game. The flash comes through. Next is going to be pressured and tested. But he's going to pass with colors, or flying colors to start off with. Tabstant finalizes. And normally you would say that in overtime on train, it's the T sides that are really important, right? But both these teams have struggled on their CT side. If anything, it should be the CT sides that now count for more.
Someone needs to put together a compilation video of just every single shot we've done of Kiev throughout the tournament.
He's a happy guy.
I think he's winked more than people in the crowd have dabbed. Crowd, you're behind.
Why'd you have to
Of course,
say that,
next crowd shot we see, just machine gun dabs.
When will the dab die?
It won't.
Sad times. So anyway, Big, only 5 rounds on their CT side. Can they outright win this? It is possible if they take all
Straight
the
to the
rounds
double
in.
up. Check this out.
I'm actually not opposed to that. I mean, you've got plenty of funds to play with.
Exactly.
They only ran with 1 AWP the entirety of their regulation CT. Try a second AWP. Let's see what sticks. Kiev's going to go for the aggressive pleak, very much like JR did, but that Molotov will greet him.
And there comes another one. He's like, all right, fair enough. I will concede. Backpedaling here into the upper side of things. God B is, of course, going to be in the area as well with the M4. And it looks like Vega certainly do want to do some type of inter-execute here. Everyone's here. They have no presence anywhere else on the map. So you know they're firmly committed to this. They have plenty of nades to work with, though. Lots of flashes, lots of Molotovs for back Pop Dog and such. So this could be a dangerous hit to deal with. And here it comes.
God B smoking, allowing them to just hide behind this wall. The teammates are falling in front of him. Mia, JR, and Kashanda all back themselves a kill apiece. Tapson and Nex. There's Nex. Is this going to be him waking up from his slumber? It's the curious case of Nex. He was huge to pretty much absent. And Tapson spots the head, peeking up from the train, but unable to capitalize on it. Looks as though Vega Squadron will have a couple of their own match points now. It's absolutely nuts to think it went from 15-11 in favor of Big to now 18-16 in Vega Squadron's favor.
And you're right. I mean, Nexus only had 4 frags lately. Like we said, at one point he was 30 and something, and now he's 30 and 22. So
I think the score was 12-11 when he hit his 30 bomb. And now it's 18-16.
True. I mean, you certainly have still had guys like particularly Kiev show up. So there's definitely still been some good playmaking here, but now Big are running out of time. If they want to end this in 2 maps, they must win out and just get into a second overtime. They can't even win from this point. Like, they just need to give themselves a chance. Vega, in the meanwhile, looking to see if they can't force that 3rd map, which again would be Mirage.
This would be an earth shatterer though if Big lose from this point after having so many advantages. Mia with the opening pick. It's getting worse and worse for Big. Chopper already round the back. Legia in a Vega sandwich. And Joe puts him out of his misery. Here comes Nex with 1 and a 2nd. Gets picked off on the approach, but Kiev is there to make it a 2-on-2. God B moving up through Ivy. He's going to get the drop on Hutchie and dispatches of him. And JR actually misses out on that opportunity. That could have been the gateway back into this round, but instead Kiev puts him down.
And the 2-0 dream is still somewhat alive here for Big. If they can get this next round, we will move on into a second overtime. And the new golden number will be 22. Can Big do it? They still have the double op in effect. This time it'll be on Tabson rather than Legia.
That's one hell of a way to kick things off. Tabson, one of the 2 AWPers. It's one of the first times we've actually seen him use the AWP in this best of 3. When it's going to be to devastatingly strong effect as far as Big is concerned. We've seen this from God B in regulation. He plays aggressively behind the smoke.
It didn't work out too in regulation, so I'm a bit concerned, especially since there's really no one else around. But I guess it won't matter if the ops of Kiev and Tabson are doing what they're doing. Tabson finally silenced by Mir. They have it now in an even man situation thanks to Kashander taking down God B in those inner halls that we were talking about. And now you have a situation where Kashander can start really creating a lot of havoc here in Connect. We do have the rotation, though, from Legia to try to stop this. But blindsided is Legia. And now Kashander just holds control of Enter. He's going to steal off Z with the fire. Nex actually pushes through, and he's looking to try to come alive here. He's going to get the kill. This half round still up in the air.
No nades to flush Hutchie out, who's low, but Kiev doesn't need a nade. He's got an AWP. And a 50 cal dispatches of Hutchie. Mia now doesn't have a Molotov. He'd love to in this kind of a scenario, but it's been smoked anyway. Drops down. Can he stop this defuse? He's panicking through the smoke, but it's going to come in. Double overtime is here.
Indeed, and the crowd are loving it, or maybe not. I mean, they're loving it that they push into a second overtime, but they're certainly hoping that Big get this over with soon, right? They definitely want to see the 2-0 come up, and Big doing well to at least keep that a possibility. As again, MR3, 16K, race to 22 now is what you're looking for. 21-21 would lead to a triple overtime. And so this series is really coming down to the wire. Obviously, the first map was a bit one-sided, if we're honest, but this map is certainly delivered.
Has been back and forth. You thought Big had it, and Vega Squadron had 2 of their own match points. But here we stand. Double overtime. Everything to play for. If you just joined us, Big currently 1-0 up after a crushing victory, 16-7 on Dust 2. And Hutchie will open up a second overtime with a headshot onto God B. And maybe it's getting a bit predictable at this stage. He's been here so many times.
It's almost like pure stubbornness at this point. I don't think he's ever actually gotten anything out of doing that. And I think that that's actually been one of the weaknesses of Big CT side, has been Gabi's inability to be able to do what he's trying to do in inner halls effectively.
Be curious if in the next round he maybe plays more of a passive role on B, or if he just continues to butt his head against that. Because Vega Squadron, we've already seen they do adapt. Leggy's going to come in. This could be either a massive play, or it'll gift wrap Vega Squadron the B site. Everything could hinge off this play. Leggy is going to go in, and he dies. Not able to get anything done. Next is in prime position to rotate, and Vega Squadron haven't actually executed fast behind this. So I thought that may be the green light to just forcing their way brutally onto the B site. That's not really been the case.
I mean, you feel if CTs are going to keep pushing you like that, you might as well see if you can't lighten the burden even more before you actually really go for it. They still had a little bit of time to play with, but now as the clock runs lower, they will begin pushing in, but can Big put a stop to it? Next, so far, unable to do so.
Well, step up Kiev. Does he even want to go for this? I suppose the 16K starting money gives you a few more options to go for the retake, but he's just going to throw away the AWP, ultimately.
Let's keep the knife out. Why not?
Dust triggered.
What can you say? Anyway, what I do hope for is that Big will kind of, like you said, just stop running your head up against the wall. Like, this inner aggression is not ever working out. Or at least if you're going to do inner aggression, do it with another player. Like, you know, kind of combine up and do something. We'll see how it plays out this round, as once more we do see Gabi just peeking this time. He's not getting into brown halls. Definitely taking a more passive approach to the inner side. Meanwhile, you do see Kiev trying to see if he can spot someone with this op. Taz still has that second op as well.
Playing very deep, actually. Almost for a retake sort of situation. And it's Vega Squadron again who claimed the first round in this overtime on the T side. And again, it's typically been the T sides that have been the stronger sides for both these teams. Double AWP, the name of the game for Big. Didn't work last round. Kiev gets flashed out. Again, aggression comes through. Misses out on opportunity. Pulls out the P250, but Mia with the AK will execute him down. Tabson, though, is able to get one before dropping, and now it's Nex's turn to shine. But he's going to feel the force from JR. God B in a 1-on-2. And a pretty important round for Big. They've expended a lot of their funds into this double up. God B with the first. JR misses his shot. God B will clutch the round out. Big back to 19 all. And how important could that clutch end up being in this match?
Massive. I mean, in an overtime situation like this, one round is definitely a huge difference maker, especially considering that round was looking like it was pretty much a done deal, that it was going to be the lead extending for Vega Squadron. But Gabi, heads up play here, landing some nice shots on Kashander and JR to take it. And he's actually tied it back up, 19 all. Double out still in play for Big. It's been effective, that is for sure.
You can see the importance of that win, because even with the win, Tabson has like $50 left. So if they lose that, they are in serious trouble right now.
Yeah, again, Gabi not going to be over-eager at enter. He's going to do an initial peek, but begins to fade back. Like you said, maybe playing for a retake type scenario. They do actually put Leggy over there as well now, They're relying on Kyiv, which no one's played this spot the entire game, by the way. So in overtime, that's when you start to see these things you haven't seen before. Like, what haven't we done yet? Oh, we haven't boosted Z. Let's do that. Let's throw in kind of a wrench into the plans of Vega Squadron, give them a new look. But this is dangerous for Gabi if Kashander comes through. He gets the kill on the Hutchie, though. And he gets out. Kashander didn't bite to try to trade. Comes out now, but now it's too late. Gabi's gotten away. And Gabi gets the kill. Wow.
That's so surprising to me. Surely Kashander just comes out the smoke and avenges the frag straight away. But regardless, Big, after losing the first round in the overtime, come back with a couple of their own. So now they're in the driver's seat. Vega Squadron have the pressure applied to them.
Indeed, they're just 2 rounds away from winning this thing into double overtime. Vega Squadron has to win out all 3 rounds to do the same feat. So with that round advantage to Big, I'll be sitting pretty kind of curious to see, again, what Big does on their T side. Because, again, I feel like they've been heavily relying upon Kyiv getting ops through T-Connector or like Tabs and at Ivy making a play. So I want to see, you know, is there anything you've been saving? Do you have something else that you can write up? Again, I haven't really seen like a big inter-execute from Big yet, so that's something that could certainly be on the table. Something a bit different, but looks like they'll stick with Kyiv for the time being. Lots of smokes for him to work around.
Look at this. He misses the shot. You just don't expect someone to play that aggressively through the smoke. Maybe an entry fragger with an AK, but not the AWPer. Kyiv fears no man. He is going in for this. The flash in the eyes of the up-close Kashander. And Kyiv misses the flick. And there is the problem. You can pull off some craziness, or you can end up dying and falling flat on your face. Chopper with the spray. Next is going to take him out, but he's down to just 7. So best case scenario is a bomb plant, maybe a couple of exits. Unless Nex could have got maybe a headshot on the approach to the site, but it's now looking pretty poor for the side of Big.
Yeah, there's not really much of a way out of this. Mir swooping through. It's all on Tabs, and now he's in a 1v4. He gets 1 frag. He's pushing up on Oil. Bomb is being defused, however, and there's just way too many angles to worry about, way too many threats that he must eliminate, and so it is going to be a tie game again, 20-all. Vega Squadron coming right back into this.
Once again, we are all even. Big did get a bomb plant. They are going to have an AWP. Next, on to 41 kills. Somewhat awoken from a mid-game crisis. JR with the AWP on the side of Vega. No huge surprises, and he did consistently go for this kind of a peak. Gets forced out courtesy of a Molotov.
And here is that shift towards a heavy inter-execute from Big. JR, though, going to kind of maybe cancel that out as he's already found a pick onto Kyiv, who has been a huge asset for Big throughout this tournament, really. And now Gabi goes down and the bomb down. Oh, no. Oh, wait, no, never mind. The bomb is still in the hands of Legia.
What's odd to me is that no team has really shown an interest in full-on executes on either side. We haven't really seen a full smoke execute onto B or A from either Big or Vega Squadron. Yeah,
no classic smoke ball on the bomb train or anything like that. No heavy inter-executes either. It's very true.
And we're into round 41.
Yeah.
Maybe the teams don't have that in their locker. Not entirely sure, but Legia is going to get the entry onto Kashander, who has typically played E-Box or Pop Dog. So they're obviously going to check that area first and foremost.
Now Heaven's kind of a new spot that's going to be used here by Vega. I don't know that we've really seen them use it that much, so Nex may not be expecting this at all. Yeah, he's even there, just like, where is it coming from? And he can't respond fast enough. The bomb will get planted by Legia inside the smoke, but it's still a 2-on-4 at the end of the day. They have to try to hold off. Tabson gets 1, sure, but JR silences him quickly, and now Legia left alone in 1v3, pushes into Z, grabs 1, but JR quick to respond, and that's a 21st round for Vega. And so now they're in contention to win this second map and force this onto Mirage. Familiar situation here for Big, playing just to try to get into another overtime.
3rd map point for Vega Squadron. Had 2 at 18-16, now 21-20. Big, more than capable of affording a wide variety of weaponry once again. But even though they've got bomb plants, it hasn't really made a great deal of difference. They still end up losing. Once again, Kyiv goes hyper-aggressive. No one's following him up, though, this time, as the bomb is going to be transitioning straight past Train. Kashanda going to be using the pop flash and the smoke to his advantage. He does get one kill. If he got a second, that would have been brutal for Big, but it seems like they're coming out on top. Finally, they're going to go for some kind of an aggressive set play. Waiting until the dying embers to pull that one out. Bomb planted, Mia and JR in a 2-on-4.
Well, there's your outer execute, Vince. You've gotten what you've asked for, and it's turned out well for Big, as it looked like they're going to press the issue to a third OT. Unless Mir sneaking around can come up with something, he's going to get behind Gabi. Gabi completely unaware of his presence, and so that's going to be one kill. Smoke will go down on the bomb. Tabson going to try to challenge here from Ivy. Can he get the spray into Mir? Yes, he can. It's going to prevent the defuse. So now it's all on JR, and he's going to try to his luck, but not going to happen. And yeah, a big sigh of relief from the man Gabi. As now it's 21-21, a third OT. Now a race to 25. It's a marathon, Vince.
A game that keeps on giving.
Much like, never mind.
Okay. Yeah, 21 apiece. We've seen pretty much, I think, everything these teams have to offer at this stage. Again, mind-blowing to me that we finally see an outer execute in like the 42nd round.
Yeah.
But there you go. Maybe Vega have that to play with going through. It's very surprising to me because most teams that are solid on Train on the T side have got some kind of a B execute. You know, you like smoke off connector, you smoke off close, you just all pile through with AK-47s and just blitzkrieg onto the site. But it's odd to me to see that neither team have shown that yet.
Yeah, it seems like because Key's been so solid with the op-making plays, and Tabson has been as well, it's like, okay, we'll just keep letting that work out. But I think now they've begun to realize that they need something else, and they're going to try to make their way out T-Connector, but wow, they just got destroyed by Hutji and Kashanda. That's two really massive frag style. But look at this next. Tabson, Legia, they come through. They take the advantage right back. So quickly this round is turned on its head.
Seems like we're starting to see the assault rifles take more of a role on the outside plays. JR and Chopper, though, land frags. Legia, E-Box. What does he have in store for JR and Chopper? Doesn't look like a great deal. Does land the first kill, but there's JR. He was asking a lot for Legia. And I think this is the third successive time that Vega Squadron have picked up the first round in overtime.
Yeah, it's always been Big kind of playing from behind and trying to survive and get into another OT, and so maybe this is going to be no different. But it is only the first round of the third overtime, so Big going to have the op in Key's hands once more. Full utility, full AKs across the board, so everything you could want. We are going to see lots of nades coming in from the CT side. They really want to stop Key from getting out there with the op. They know how dangerous he can be. They're also denying quick control of ladder room with a couple of incendiaries. Legia looking to take control of Brown Halls. He's going to have it. Looks like they want to do an outer split from all angles. I mean, the bomb's tucked into Ivy. They have some presence at T-Con and ladder room, so it seems like they just want to split it 3 ways.
Deciding against that now.
Yeah.
JR put down a smoke that pretty much finalized any potential Ivy play. Look at Gobi snaking his way out. He's going to be biding his time, looking for a second opponent to take down. Or he may just go straight through into connector and try some shenanigans that way.
He's thinking about it.
He wants to take a picture.
I don't think Kashanda knows where that came from, by the way. Like, the way he did that, they actually don't know, I don't think. Well, we do see someone starting to peek, see a little bit. Yeah, Gabi does go down, but he's still got a lot out of that because now look at Leggy slipped, but look at Chopper with the recovery. Oh, no. All those great efforts that Gabi just put together might all be for naught.
Wow, the plot thickens. Hutji from behind will land a kill onto Nex. Here comes Keith. 3 more. We saw him get a similar clutch in regulation. 2 kills. Both of them nice shots, quick reaction speed. But just too many CTs to deal with. First 2 rounds go the way of Vega Squadron in this third overtime. And that's so odd to me, considering Godby's play. I thought, okay, this has to be a T round.
Especially when Legia is able to come out that far of upper because of Godby's play. So now you have even more options to try to get something going, but it doesn't really pan out. And so a lot of build-up for still around for Vega Squadron in the end.
We haven't seen either of these teams pull off a 3-0 in overtime. So if Vega do pull it off here, the Big have their work cut out for them. Next, round the back. Legia And again, every time they're put into a corner, it seems like they just explode out of A and get fragged. Hudgy gets caught with his pants down around his ankles and gets spanked by Nex. JR in with 2 with a 5-7 and AWP shot. And now it's down to Chopper once again. Time to burn, which he may very well be able to do so with that incendiary. Go spot Nex. Not sure on Kiev's current location. Now he's found out. As 83 of his health disappear. I mean, this has to be around for big. You can't let this one slip away, especially at this stage of a match.
You wouldn't think so. Chopper trying to find a new position here inside Z. Bomb just got planted and he has a kit, so plenty of time for him to work with, but enough time has passed to where Kiev will expect this and he's able to react well. Now Nex is breathing a sigh of relief, shaking his head. They realized that this game should have been over long ago if things would have went according to plan. And now they just kind of keep chasing after Vega Squadron. The roles have really reversed lately, but luckily they have done enough to stay in it, keep this map 2 alive.
Judging from the body language, like the constant sighs of relief, I can't help but feel that if Big do lose this map in overtime, this is going to be crushing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely crushing going through into Mirage. It's not the case just yet. They do trail by a round. It is possible they could win from this point, but it's also very possible they could lose.
Indeed. And the crowd's been rather quiet. I mean, your boys are looking to try to get this in a 2-0. I mean, what are you guys thinking out there? What's going on? There we go. There's a little bit. Sure, Gabi is the type of guy who does like to be fueled by the crowd. That's for sure. He certainly plays to it. So they could certainly use maybe a little bit of something extra here because times have been a little bit tough in this overtime.
Oh,
that helps.
JR 2 health. Of course, there's no way of Big knowing that just happened, though. That was purely blind through the smoke. But yeah, JR, a gust of wind away from death. If someone sneezes in his direction, he's going to fall down.
As again, we are seeing Vega look for a heavy inner execute. Gabi, to his credit, has gotten away from being too individualistic and aggressive on Brown Halls. He's been playing with Leggy. That's a sick pop flash, though. It's going to net him a free frag on the Hut G, and he may have even spotted some other players. But no, he pulls an incendiary out, and Leggy gets cleared out, but he somehow gets a kill from the fire, so at least there's still some hope here. The 3-on-3, but Vega have done well to break in to this site and get the bomb planted.
Next, 15 health. Although Big do lead by a player in this round, the position in the smoke could be so massive by Chopper. And now it's all on him. And Nex has spotted Chopper and connects the headshot. We're going back to all even at 23.
That horn, man.
I'm just getting flashbacks to Vuvuzelas, man, from the South African World Cup.
Indeed. The constant humming.
Less painful than England's performance, though, of course. Always suck at football. Feels bad, man. So, 23-23. The game that never ends. Auto Sniper, hello. Haven't seen that yet. Leggy is going to be busting out a new strap, maybe.
This Auto Sniper is either the greatest thing ever or the most massive disappointment of all time. Like, it's a huge cash investment. Thankfully, they have plenty of money, 16K start, plus they won the first round. So it's not going to, cripple them to do this. But could be neat.
I feel like Train is one of those maps where the Auto Sniper is just so powerful. That and Cash, incredibly strong.
As it looks like Inner is the focus yet again for Vega Squadron. I mean, to be fair, they had a pretty good take. They had a 3v3 post plan, so it's not as if it was unsuccessful. I mean, the execute went fine. So understandable they might want to look to do so yet again, as Gabi playing very passive.
Vega Squadron deciding to rush as one. It's finally starting to see some more aggressive, united efforts onto the B side. And it is getting bomb plants. Godby finally gets the kill onto JR. A little bit labored, cost him his life maybe. And Big, last time around we're in a 2-on-3. This time it's a 4-on-3, but Kiev has picked up the first one. Mia's going to be using that smoke.
Oh no.
To shroud his approach, but that flashback could not have been worse timing for Mia. He gets completely screwed by it, and now Nex is going to start teeing off. Oh, Russian's Kiev comes in.
That is so so unfortunate. He was playing it so well. He let a guy pass. Gabi's like, man, what's going on? But they did win the round in the end. Yeah, that flashbang was critical and so big. 1 round away from the 2-0. Look at this. It's so perfect. He's like, you can just see him licking his chops. He's like, oh, yes, I'm about to make a massive play. And then the disappointment sets in.
I have not seen a player get that denied by a flash in quite some time. So huge. Big have another match point. They've snuck this one by. They lost the first round. It was looking terrible. Now they have the ability to 2-0 this best of 3.
Indeed, it's looking likely at this point. They seem to have the momentum on their side, but Vega, they're 1 round away from forcing yet another overtime, and Mir helps it along. That's Kiev down. A big element of Big is out of the equation. The op will no longer be in play. Next, though, fending it off with the AK. Tabson chiming in, so now they have a 4-on-3, but Kashander evening it up.
Oh, next goes down to Godby and Legia. Not really the 2 players you want in this scenario, but they find themselves in it all the same. No needs to use. No way of getting back onto the site other than just ruthless fragging potential. Legia can't transition the spray across to Kashander, and that will be his end. Godby, can you pull off the hero play? Trying to snake his way onto the site. He does have a kit. Gonna tickle it for a second, but he gets caught from Kashander, and we move into yet another overtime. You're gonna have to help me here, Dusk. My math sucks. Is that 4th?
3rd.
My math sucks, but are you sure it's 3rd?
I mean, I was just looking at the top. It said OT2 when we're playing out that round, so I assume OT3 is next. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't actually do any math. I just read the screen. That's the trick.
Oh, either way, we have quite a few more rounds coming up.
There he is. There it is. You go, man.
Trying to catch up with the Winks.
Somewhere Sadakist is dying inside.
OT4. Get Rex, bro.
Okay, well, you know, let's not talk about it. Let's just...
I mean, I've well exhausted casting this. Imagine what the players are feeling right
yeah,
now.
absolutely.
They must be spent. And there's a potential for another map coming up after this as well. But B are going to try and do what they can to stop that becoming a reality as Legia comes in for the headshot. This would be the first time if Big can round up this CT start. The first time that Big start with a winning way in overtime. Just let that sink in for a second. As Godby's going to try and retake this side. He doesn't want any pesky terrorist planting the bomb on his watch. Taps him with the M4 spray. Takes down Chopper. There's the spray that Godby was waiting for. The bomb does get planted, but it's a 5-on-2 retake. And Godby goes in for yet another one. Hutchie, what do you have in store? The AK-47 does ring out, but not enough to claim any kills. Legia with the frag. And if that's anything to go by, if they've broken the curse, maybe now Big can convert into a second map.
We will hope so, as the magic number is 28. That's what we're looking for here.
I'll take your word on that.
It definitely hasn't been easy, man. That's definitely not come to effect. This has been an absolute brawl. This is by far the tightest race we've seen on a map in this tournament.
I mean, we're nearly getting towards the stage where the players have effectively played 2 maps worth of rounds.
Indeed.
We're getting to that point now.
And we could even see another map altogether. So we could be here quite a while. We're no strangers to casting marathons on land.
Definitely not.
That big best of 5.
Oh, Tabson. Eats that nade up. Banked off the wall. Also always makes me nervous when I see players having to cover both team main and Pop Dog. Because there's just that element of timing that could always play a factor.
Now he does have next for cover, and Kiev even has his op trained on T-Con, so Tabson really can just focus in on ladder. And still not quite sure if they're looking to split ladder into outer or if they're looking to do some type of inter-execute. Haven't really shown the cards just yet, but Hutchie is able to come out and get Tabson, so that's going to open up some more options here. Next trying his best to hold things off, but he goes down. Legia able to get a kill with the fire. Kiev missing the op shot, the 2-on-4. He's gonna back away, try to see if he can get in a safer position, but look at Gabi coming right back out here. Might get a quick flank into ladder room, but I mean, the bomb is down, and that's a great position being held here from Chopper.
Yeah, Kiev's in no man's land. I mean, he's miles away from retaking the site. And there's food for thought. Kiev pulled this off. It'll be one of the best clutches I've seen in quite some time. Not gonna happen. Mia will deny him. 26-26. You did hear that right if you just joined us. It has been quite the marathon, quite the effort from both teams. Regulation seems like years ago at this stage. I'm sure it does to the players.
Yeah, I mean, just the mental wear and tear that you go through in a game like this where, I mean, you're running out of plays to come up with. Like, you've tried everything that you know, basically. Randomness starts setting in. Like, you start trying to call stuff on the fly. Players either hitting their shots, they're not anymore. People who were big start to quiet down. Maybe people who weren't doing so hot begin to step up. So many different things come into play in an overtime situation like this.
This is where mental stamina honestly plays a huge part as well for teams.
Absolutely.
Like, who has that unbroken concentration? Who has the ability to go above and beyond what you'd normally have to in CS?
Oh,
Kiev
man.
is dead. Unfortunate timing. But Nex, who started so incredibly strong, went on a bit of a quiet period, seems to be waking back up again. And maybe the right time for Big. Tabson goes down right next to Nex, but he is still just about alive on 48 health. He's doing a lot of damage by himself, but now it's Legia's turn to try and retake the site. And after Big pick up the first round, it looks like they're going to lose the next two on their CT side.
Indeed, it seems to be the likely outcome here. Legia, though, trying to see if he can't disturb that, as he does find one frag in the 1v3. Now in the 1v2, he does have a smoke to defuse in, so that is certainly an option, but he still needs to find some players. Spots one by the E-box, so he knows where one is. Going to bank a nade that could kill Kashander. Does a lot of damage, doesn't quite kill him, but he's able to push with the CZ. Kashander dancing around, but gets taken out. Can Legia really do this 1v1? He gets on the bomb, Flash comes out. He's going to slide out, though. Finds the frag! There you have it. Legia will take it. Well played, with an op nonetheless. Legia, nonetheless, the one to deal it. Incredible.
What a time to burst out that play as well. A 1-on-3.
Wow.
That's unreal. Just soak this in.
Yeah, just let it play out.
The 51st round, and he pulls this out of his pocket.
That was so clutch to come out the smoke like that. That was well played. Really good thought process there from Legia. Does the unthinkable. And so now it's Big with the round advantage going into the second half of this overtime. Absolutely brilliant.
52 rounds, or the 52nd round about to commence, I should say. And Big, how important could that clutch end up being?
That's probably the difference maker at this point. Like, it's hard to see. How do you come back from that if you're Vega? Jason R getting caught. It's piling up now.
Oh boy, Big. 28 rounds, the target. Too shy. And with the opening pick onto JR, that makes it more and more likely. Kashander playing aggro in ladder, gets taken down by Godby. Was that Legia clutch the morale breaker? Was it the combo breaker for Vega Squadron? Mia's gonna try and roll the dice. I understand why he'd go aggro in a round like this, in a situation like this. Not able to get it done onto Godby, and we'll try and relocate. He's going to see more action in the near future, though, as Hutchie does take Tabson out elsewhere, but he's going to fall next. It's all on Chopper. Big will have 2 more match points if they can convert this one. And it's so hard to see how Chopper gets this clutch, and down he goes.
1 round away is Big from the 2-0, from the semifinals tomorrow against Heroic.
I think this match has been many things, mate, but easy has not been one of them for either team. This has been quite the battle. The war of mental attrition.
Got that one guy so bad he had the easy sign wrong. had it upside down. Maybe purposely to be funny, who knows? But this could be it. JR, though, trying his damnedest to make sure it's not. He wants to see if he can't push this to perhaps a 5th overtime. If they can win out these next 2 rounds and tie it back up at 27 big. Certainly hoping for the opposite. You know, they have 2 chances to find this 28th round, to win it here and now, to avoid Mirage.
The last time they had this kind of a lead, it was 18-16, and that Molly, this is where the exhaustion starts to come in. This is where the mistakes start to creep in as well. Can't blame the players, they're only human after all.
It's definitely not the time for playing the floor as lava. Like, you don't need to be doing that at this point in time.
That is a fair point. Yep, that is definitely a fair point. Minute to play with for Big. So much time has been invested into this map. So much on the line. A place in the semi-finals facing off against Heroic. And a crack at 50K, and of course the trophy. But they're not going to be thinking about that right now. They're going to be tunnel visioning onto how the hell do we win this map? How the hell do we take this 2-0 win? 30 seconds coming up on the timer. Big really haven't got anything going their way. No real estate. Vega Squadron still very healthy in terms of health.
Ooh, Legia eating a lot as he comes out. Will he spot Chopper? He does, but he can't land the mark. And so now it piles up even more. Frags all across the board from Vega Squadron. It's going to come down to the wire again. It's going to be 26-27. And so will Vega push us yet into another overtime? Will that big clutch play from Legia be all for nothing? Or will Big step up to the plate and finish the job?
Or do we move into 5th overtime?
That was the first option I mentioned.
Hey,
We're just
at this point, I think I just said they're very healthy in terms of health. So my casting is like,
we're
top,
starting to get there.
Top notch, mate. Top notch.
Quality banter.
It's getting to that point where fatigue is setting in for these players. It's been a long old day. Remember, they already played today as well, Big.
Yeah.
So they've had an incredibly long day. So massive respect to Big for even being in this situation alongside Vega.
Meanwhile, Heroic, their opponents, lounging around all day.
Just chilling.
Yeah, just happily waiting for the semifinals as Tapson's going to open things up in this round. Next, following it up with another. This could finally be the big moment. A nod of disapproval from Metis, but take it away.
Well, Mir's still in a decent enough position. There's Molotov flying around him. Hutchie does land the first shot. Big, you've got to jump on top of this opportunity. Keeve is going to land the shot. Mir can't connect. Finally does do so onto Keeve, and it's all on Chopper and all on 3, and they finally, after so many chances, so many bites of the apple, Big have taken it down in the 4th overtime. 2-0 in the end.
And they've done it on home soil. Their land debut. They secure their slot in the playoffs. They certainly weren't one of the favorites to do so. I mean, to be fair, this group that they came from was particularly wide open. So many wild card factors, so many question marks looming over the field, but it is Big who come out on top in this series. And so, yes, they will be moving on to play against Heroic tomorrow in the semis. So well done, Big. Today, you've been victorious, but you still got some work to do tomorrow.
Well-deserved applause from the German crowd here in Leipzig. God be very well played, actually. Everyone had their moments in the sun, but I don't want to overlook Vega Squadron. These guys,
Yeah, surely.
there were a lot of question marks. Was it a fluke? Was it a one-off at the major qualifiers?
It wasn't.
No.
I mean, I think that this event has proven that this team is certainly one to keep an eye on. They definitely have guys like Mir, Chopper, Kashander, even JR at times with the yacht. Like, there is some talent there. Like, they are somewhat competitive. I mean, I think I want to see them play a little bit more still, but it's certainly, you can't say that E-League was a fluke now. Like, you have to say, okay, this team can be somewhat competitive depending on the level of teams they're up against. So yeah, I think Vega Squadron have to feel okay about this. I mean, certainly they wanted to do a bit more. Obviously we all do, but I think from like watching the game, I was still impressed by Vega.
I completely agree with you. 2-0, maybe not a flattering scoreline overall. First map wasn't close. It feels like forever ago now. Dust 2 was 16-7, but Train, it just couldn't have been closer, really. Very nearly into a 5th overtime. So, I mean, Vega had some great individual performances. Chopper, in particular, played great in the first day. Not so great today. But, well, that's going to do it from us for now. We're going to head over to the stage where Pala has an interview with, I'm sure, a very exhausted player.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to present to all of you the winning team for this match, Big. Gob, what is going through your head right now? That was an insane match.
GG easy.
Now, I'm not sure how accurate that is because we did see many overtimes in that second map on Train go very, very deep. How did you keep composed and win the entire series?
It was really tough, really good game to Vegas. They are an insane team. They played also really good strategically wise. Made us always guess what they're gonna do and not. So it was really tough game, and it's not much to say. We just, in the end, we just wanted it more, I guess, and obviously because of them, I think that's why we won. Yeah, to be honest, no joke.
It is, of course, very late here at this point, but there is still a huge crowd ready to show their support. What does that mean to you and the guys, especially knowing you are moving into a semi-final matchup tomorrow against Heroic?
It means a lot, no joke. It's just amazing to be here. It makes me so happy that I'm decided to stay here, not going to the US again. So I'm very happy at the moment. Thank you very much.
And going into a bit more detail about that matchup tomorrow, Heroic are your opponents. It's best of 3. What's the approach? What do you think of them as opponents?
They are really good friends to us. We are always hanging out on a pool with them and make a lot of fun. So, and they're also a really good team, I think. In the end, we will watch probably 1 or 2 matches of them, but we kind of know them because we also practiced against them before, and it was always close. So it's going to be a really good match, and we will not win if you are not going to attempt tomorrow, guys.
That was an excellent series, and it seemed like everyone on your team at a point really stood out, including yourself. And I think that's really cool to see because some of you guys have had a lot of criticism over the past couple of years at times, which teams you've been on and like for your individual roles. But it seems like you guys are coming together extremely well. And I think everyone here is very appreciative of that, and seeing you guys in your hometown in your first tournament is very exciting.
We appreciate them more than they us probably, because it's so much, it's so, no joke, it's really so important to be a part of Germany again with you guys. It's just insane.
And I think we can leave it at that. Do you have any final words? I'll leave it with you, Gob.
Ich kann nur eins sagen, Dankeschön. Mehr kann man nicht sagen in diesem Punkt. Dankeschön.
Awesome, thank you so much, guys, and we will see you tomorrow. But do not go anywhere right now because we still have another final segment on the analysis desk.
Yes, we do indeed. Dankeschön. Big congratulations to them. They go through to the semi-final. What a fantastic last match of the night. We didn't think overtime was ever going to end, though. It was just going on and on.
It's a bit of grind there towards the end, yeah. It was no joke.
No joke, it was going on and on.
And Next is no joke.
No, I mean, where do you start with that lad?
He was going ham. He was going absolutely nuts. On both maps, he had like massive scorelines. In overtime, he slowed down a little bit, but I don't think it's fair to expect somebody to continue that kind of a spree in so many rounds. But he was the star of that game on both maps, I thought.
We should also point out, we'll take a look at some highlights in a moment, Tommy, but this is a 2-0 win for Big against a team that we thought would run them much closer.
Yeah, but I mean, that second map couldn't really get much closer, could it? I mean, there's a universe out there where Vega wins that second map, and then there's a close third map, and then we look at the series entirely differently. I mean,
this 1v3 was absolutely crazy because of the way he played it. There's a no scope here, right? First off, or a quick scope. Then he decides, okay, I found the other guy. I'm going to grenade him behind it, and then flush him out to get him. Meanwhile, bomb's still ticking down, and it's in smoke, and you think, oh, okay, he goes for the smoke diffuse here. Nope. Having none of it, he's going to take out the last guy as well.
He played it really well.
Fantastic, really well done.
You see, you got the 1v1s there. That's what you want to do in a clutch scenario. Get those 1v1s. So good by Legia.
Yeah, and we're going to show you some next stuff because where do you start with him, Tommy? This is the kind of player that you want to see doing well. We knew he had it in him, but when he starts playing like this, you're mesmerized by the play that he comes up with.
No, this really reminds you of how he was playing in the summer of 2015 when he was a star player on Mouse. Everybody thought he was kind of breaking through as the next level star, getting to the bigger stages. On Dust 2, actually, Tabsen was the better player, as well as Next was playing. Tabsen outdid it on that map, but on Train, he had something like 35 kills at the end of regulation. Like Chad said, he's slowed down a little bit, but I mean, it's just a long game. At some point, that's going to happen. In a way, the game getting prolonged so much that actually cannibalized his stats in a way would have looked even more impressive had they just closed it out at 16-14.
Yeah, and not just the one map. He's played well throughout the tournament so far. Is he up there in favour of MVP? Is he up in your thoughts?
Well, I mean, my opinion is always that you have to take into consideration who wins the tournament. So I think the best player on the best team is probably more valuable than the best player on the second place team, unless everybody on the best team was somewhat similar and someone was super outstanding on the second place.
Shout, though.
But for their team, for sure. I mean, he's played incredibly well today. I think all the maps today he was really good. Yesterday, obviously, a bit of a slow start, but really picked it up.
Just they're still out there taking photographs.
They'll probably be there all night.
I think they will, long into the night as well, and enjoying it. As you heard Gobby say, he's glad he didn't go back to America. And I think
not the only one, right?
There's no slight on the American team, but they really do thrive and love playing in front of their home audience. And you've done it a few times. It's good, right? It's a good feeling.
In front of home audience?
Yeah. I mean, not a huge amount, obviously, with yourself.
Not really. I've only played Finnish tournaments against other Finns, in which case it's sort of irrelevant. But I've been sort of the home team in the U.S., I guess, which is sort of similar.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at the statistics for the game. They are quite high, actually. Obviously, we played many rounds in the second game, and even the statistics were like, hang on a minute, we calculated 80 kills here for Nex. I don't think that's correct. And the statistics were a little bit slow coming up, and that's why, because they had to add up all of Nex's kills. 80 for 47 and a 1.98 KDR. I mean, it's just, what the heck? It's so far ahead of everything else in the game.
That's crazy.
Nice.
I didn't think it was that much more over the whole series, but you look at it like that, that's nuts.
No, he's the best player on the server.
That's two maps, by the way. Admittedly 4 overtimes, but it's 2 maps.
Yeah, I mean, that's the equivalent of 3 maps worth of rounds, really.
Something to note, though, like, you had a lot of players that kind of saved big in a lot of situations. Like Kiev, he had that the round with the P250 where I think they were versing an eco, and it became like a 2v3, 2 vs 4, and he saved them in that round. There's lots of rounds that Big had like that, and you can't count on them every time. And this is a new team, so they're not taking anything away from them. They performed fantastically, and the individuals look like they're doing great stuff. With more practice, this team is actually going to be like dangerous in the whole scene.
Absolutely, yeah, could have a lot of danger as well. Let's take a look at the brackets and just fill you in with exactly how things went down on day number 2. In Group A, we now have our 2 semi-finalists, of course. Heroic coming through on day 1 with 2 swift wins. LDLC then making their way through after a 3-map thriller with Fnatic Academy knocked out in the last match of the day. In Group B, Flipside already made it through on day 1, and they've been joined by Germany's Big after a 2-0 win with mega overtime played in the second map. Vega Squadron finishing in 3rd. So our semi-finals line up like this. We'll have Heroic versus Big and Flipside versus LDLC.
I certainly hope the schedule
$100,000 on the line as well.
Certainly hope the schedule gets flipped, because
it is actually flipped.
Yeah,
it is.
Because otherwise that would be a fairly early wake up for Big.
Now, just to confirm for you, I have had it told to me it is the Flipside game first, so has been fixed.
Well, that's how it should be.
Absolutely.
Frankly, otherwise would be fairly unfair for the Big guys.
Having to stay here until 3 a.m. signing and photographs, and then.
Well, that's on you. That's on you. That part is on you. Sometimes you gotta say no.
Just to note, with those 4 teams that we have tomorrow, they're all like relatively strategic, tactical, heavy teams.
Yeah, which we've made a big thing about this last 2 days.
It's not just like the teams, the free teams who run around and kind of play a more mixed style and then rely on structure and chemistry. These guys, have a lot of set strats and a lot of they're very strong in-game leaders. We've got Gobby, Existence, Blade. They're 3 of like legendary in-game leaders.
It's going to be really good, isn't it? And really interesting to see how they all clash together.
And Snappy really is like the protege of Barry, I think, from the 1.6 days, and he was one of the more tactical leaders. Wasn't like a big name or anything, but he was always known for having like a super structured game plan. So certainly, like you guys said, it's just very tactical Counter-Strike coming up tomorrow, I would expect.
Yeah. Definitely, very interesting indeed. We're going live at 9:30 tomorrow, I've been told as well. So make sure you join us then. Just a few bits of housekeeping for you as well. I do want to see all your tweets and your Facebook posts, so make sure you're posting on all of the social media channels that DreamHack have to offer and using the hashtag #DHOpen, of course, on Twitter. Just let us know your thoughts on a fantastic second day, thoughts on big winning perhaps, or LDLC going through, or maybe even predictions as to who's going to win all of it tomorrow. $100,000 on the line, of course. $50,000 going to the winner of the first DreamHack Astro Open of 2017. We'll find out tomorrow who's crowned champion. Also, a big thank you to our sponsors, of course, Astro, to Monster Energy, and of course to Zowie. Thanks for your support and your continued support throughout the tournament. It means a lot to all of the players, the fans, and of course all the commentary team here as well. We have come to the end of our second day. It has been another fantastic day of Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Can't wait for tomorrow, though. It's always fun, isn't it? Finals day tomorrow, 2 semis and a grand final. Join us tomorrow in Leipzig to crown the first 2017 DreamHack champion for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. We'll see you tomorrow.